If you are watching this video, you have already volunteered to be an usher or a greeter and to help us as we begin to open the Mass to the public once again. So I very much appreciate your willingness to serve, to offer us your talents, and also to undergo the certain risk that is involved. So as ushers, as greeters, you'll be instructing people, you will have to break the social distance in order to be able to help them. So your presence is vital and certainly appreciated. To do so safely, we are giving instructions because there are certain guidelines that come to us from the National CDC office, the state of Wisconsin, Trempealeau County to keep us safe. Also instructions that come to us from the Wisconsin Conference of Bishops, and most particularly from our own Bishop Callahan in the Diocese of La Crosse. So the diocese has given us 53 points of protocol to follow and to be in compliance with in order to open our doors to the public. So we want to make sure that we're maintaining that, and as ushers, you are involved in most of those 53 points. So this is an instructional video that we are asking you to watch to be made aware of all the ways in which you can help keep us and yourself safe. First of all, we are looking at opening Masses to the public on a limited level. So this is not an immediate return to what we knew before, but there are certain restrictions and guidelines. The first is that we can welcome only 25% of the occupancy of our buildings. So at St. Peter and Paul, that is roughly 130 people. At St. John the Apostle, that is roughly 80 people. So we'll have to make sure that the number is maintained in safe ways. In order to help with the arrival, the entrances will be limited to one at each parish. So at St. Peter and Paul, the entrance will be the double doors facing west towards Highway 93, and they will either be propped open or an usher will have to hold the door open as people enter. At St. John the Apostle, the entrance will be the main doors under the covered vestibule. So those again will be propped open, or an usher will have to hold them open as people enter. The other doors will be locked, so please help those who are trying to find a way in to locate those particular doors. People are asked to maintain social distance outside in the parking lot, on the sidewalks, inside during the Mass, and then outside once again as they return home. And we ask you to encourage that. We're not asking you to police it with consequences, but if you can offer a good example when you are able to, and also an encouragement to people as they keep that distance to mitigate the spread of the virus. As people enter, there will be hand sanitizers. So hand sanitizer really is the new holy water as people enter and as they exit to sanitize their hands. There'll also be the availability of hand sanitizer in the communion aisle as they approach to receive communion only on the hand. If there are any special needs, we ask that people approach the ushers. So if you be aware of that as well for elevator or lift usage, communicants are asked to keep that 6-foot distance, so you are to control the traffic. We will announce at each church the receiving of communion by section. So it'll normally start on the left side, working to the right side as I face the people. And at St. John's, that will include the final section being the wing to the right side of the altar. And if you would help them maintain that social distance, there will also be markings on the floors, down the aisles, as well as the communion stations where they are to receive on the hand. So any way that you can help point that out, we appreciate that. You will be asked to wear masks throughout. The recommendation is there for the congregation, strongly encouraged but not required. However, for ushers and hospitality ministers, it is a requirement because we will be breaking that social distance. In preparation for communion, there will be no offertory, so the bread, the water, the wine, all of that will be at the credence table, so there's no need to worry about that. Also, there will be no collection, so we are, instead of going through the aisles, we're going to have then baskets available at the exits so that people have the option of putting their envelope or their offertory there without the need for movement during the Mass. At the exits, we also ask that you wear gloves because you will be distributing the bulletins. So bulletins will not be made available before Mass, during Mass, only after Mass, and not so that they can pick it out, but that the ushers will hand it out. So using gloves, if you would hand individual bulletins out, and then bring the remaining bulletins to the sacristy, because we can't make them available to the public if they've been touched for 3 days, and then we can put them in their usual places. The offertory collection as well, if you could then put them into the usual bank bags and bring that to the sacristy, and we'll take care of it from there. So the money counting, the handling of the envelopes is also affected, but ushers, if you can bring that to the sacristy, then that will help us. The sanitizing will happen between Masses or after a Mass is finished. So we do have an extra crew that will come in and clean the pews and any other surfaces that may have touched. But if you could, as ushers, do us a favor and make sure that you sanitize the door handles for both the entrances and the exits, and make sure that those are safe as well. Ushers do need to be outside of the vulnerable category. So if there is any question about compromised immune systems, respiratory conditions, diabetes, any of those that are listed as vulnerable categories, we do ask that you not volunteer. Ushers are also to be under the age of 60. If you are in a different age category and would still like to serve, please do contact me, because then I need to get specific permission from the bishop to allow that to occur. We may have to look at recruiting new ushers as well, so if you would like to recommend anyone, please let me know. Finally, just a word of gratitude. Once again, thank you for offering your services, and we look forward to the growth of people returning to the church. Certainly they've been missed. I can't wait to preach to not empty pews, but someone in greater number who's there. But I definitely want to make sure that we do this safely and according to the regulations, so that the mitigation of any danger or risk is kept to a minimum, at least as much as we know at this point. If there is a change in the permission, we'll try to get that information out. It will definitely follow the curve of positive cases in our local area. So if there is a change, we'll let you as ushers know, and we'll try to get the information out as quickly as possible to other parishioners. So may God bless you, and may He keep us always healthy, happy, and holy.